Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Right, so thank you again for joining our free online lesson. My name is Nabi Fikri and I am application engineer from ACAD Systems. For this free lesson, so we're going to go through with the mold designs. So this will be the overview of the Autodesk Inventor mold design. And this will be our agenda for today. So the first thing is for this mold design, inside of the Inventor, we're going to add extra content, right, or extra parts, which is not included on the normal installations. So we're going to add the content, add into the content library. And the next thing is we're going to add the parts, and we can create or generate the core and cavity. And we're going to go through with the adding some gate and runners and creating our mold base. And we're just going to add some equipment inside, such as ejector pins or maybe cooling systems and so on. And lastly, we're going to create a 2D drawing based from our design model here. Right, so first of all, to add a content library. So why do we want to add this? Because the content that Autodesk give us when we install the Inventor is actually quite limited. So this is examples of my core and cavity. And let's say if I would like to generate a mold base, so I can click a mold base from here, and to see the parts that I'm able to use, I can just click over here. So currently, I only have 2 mold base, so we can actually add more. So you can add it from the Autodesk Autodesk website. So to add or install and download that, so first of all, you can go to any web browser and just go to the Autodesk account or Autodesk Manage. And this is the place where you can download your software, and that one also include the extra part. So let me just sign in here. Let me just use different web browser. Okay, so let me just sign in from here. Okay, so for some reason it takes a bit some time, so let me just load again. Right. And the extra content center, you can find the download link from the product and service. So if I go to product and service, and you can find that under Inventor Inventor software. So let me just scroll down and look at the Inventor Professional. Right, so it should be this one. So normally you can use this to download your Inventor, but we want to download the extra part instead. So you can just click over here, and you can find that we have a library from here. And this is the mold design library that you can add, right? So just some extra parts. So with this, let's say I would like to use a metric unit. So I can download the mold design for the metric one. So if you have or need different type of mold design, so you can just click and download right from here. Okay, so for my case here, I already download. So I have that inside my download folder. And once you have download this, so you can just run, and it will ask you to pick the extract location. So it's almost like a install software, but it's not actually installation, but rather than just extracting the file. Right, so when they ask the location where you want to extract, so you can just extract and pick the locations. But for my case, I already extract. And that will be this file here. And what I would like to do is that I would like to bring this file into my Inventor library. So let me just open the Inventor first. So the library location will be able to be found on the content center library. So you can just create new here and go to the project. Should be able to find under the content center library. So this will be the list of the files. So the location is provided over here. So you can just click here and it will pop out on the window. So this is the location. So you don't have to go through Inventor actually, as long as if you know the location for this, you can just directly go from this. Okay, so I would like to add it inside here. Let me just copy. And I have that the original one, which is this one, not many, only 2 parts that we see before. So I'm going to add and replace. And in the meantime, I'm going to close my Inventor. So just to make sure that it will load properly. So now that I have added, so this one should be around 3.5 gigabyte. And let me just reopen back the Inventor. So it should be when I reopen back that design, I should have the extra content center parts. Right. So sometimes if you find that even though you already restart your Inventor, so sometimes you need to restart again. If you don't find that, but for my case here, let me just check first whether we managed to add it or not. Okay, for some reason, I still did not see the new part. So let me just recheck back. So if I go over here, all right, so another thing that I forgot to mention is that you need to specify the file type. So the file type should be .idcl. So when you copy this, just make sure to rename and add the extension at the back, idcl. Yes, so it should be this one. This one is the original one. Let me just delete. And this will be the replacement. And let me try to reopen back. Right, so if I go into the mode base here, and you can click at the bottom at the drop down button here. So currently it takes a bit sometimes. So it does takes a bit sometimes. I believe this one have work. So we should be able to see all of the list of the part that we add before. Now, now we should be able to see all of the part that we have added before can be used from here. So not just for football, so we have DME, we have Harsco, different parts. So we have more parts that we can now use. Okay, so as for now, we can start to create our mold base first. We can create our concavity first. So let me just start from beginning. So let's say this is the design, the plastic part that I have, and I would like to make this into a core and cavity. So to start with the Inventor mold design, so the first thing that you need to do is that you can create an assembly for mold design. So just click new. So find the template that you have. So for my case, I will use the matrix. And if you take a look on the assembly here, we have the standard, we have the Wellman, and the one that you need to pick is the mold design for the assembly here. So I will choose the millimeter and I can click create. And for this case, it just asks you to rename the mold design. So I'm just going to name this one as a mold design FOL. So if you need to, you can create the new folder as well. And now I can start to add the plastic part. So with this, you can just click at the plastic part here. And I can just click and it will load that plastic part into this assembly. And before we go and do anything, so first of all, we need to make sure to set up our model correctly. So if you find yourself need to readjust the orientation, so you can go into the adjust here. So either orientation or position, so you can just click over here. So normally you will need to have the Z direction pointing upward. So for my case here, it's already correct. The Z direction is upward. But if you need to change, you can click in the orientations. Maybe I need to reverse the direction, for example, or maybe I have a different plane. So I can just click right from here. But for my case, it's already correct. So let me just cancel. And I can now start to separate it into a core and cavity. So to make it core cavity, so on the model layout here, I have the core cavity. So I can just click from here. And what I need to do here is that I need to specify the size of my core cavity workpiece. And I also need to separate into two parts. So for the workpiece, you can just click at the workpiece settings here. And this will be the block of our workpiece. So for my case, I would like to increase. So you can use this to adjust the size or setting for your workpiece. So let me just increase a bit from here as well. And to separate it into two parts, the core and cavity, we need to separate using a surface. So we have two things that we need to do here is to create a patching surface on the inside and also the run-off surface from the outside. So with this, you can just click patching surface. So if you have a hole here, you want this to be into top and also bottom. So you can use this to separate. You can click to add manually, but they also provide with auto detect and it will automatically add the surface automatically for you. So you don't have to do it manually. But sometimes there are certain surface or area that not able to be added. So with this, you can click to add and you can add it manually. So the inside here has been separated. Now I would like to separate on the outside as well. So I can create run-off surface. Now it has been separated to outside. So for my case here, I can able to auto-detect quite good. But if there's some area that does not able to detect, you can also click to add the surface manually. But for this case, it's okay already. And now I can start to separate into core and cavity. So with this, I can click at the generate core and cavity. And what it does, first of all, is allow you to preview what will happen between these two so that you can basically see the difference between these two parts, the cavity and also the core. I can use this to view the area inside. And once I'm done, the core and cavity has been created, and I can now generate a mold base. Right, so to add a mold base, so I can go and add a mold base from the, I need to finish first. Then I can add a mold base from the mold assembly from here. But before that, I also need to add a gate and also runner. So if you take a look here, we have empty area inside here. So this is where our plastic mold will flow inside. And before that, we need to have a gate or runner for the mold to flow inside. So with that, to add a gate, so you can go into, right, so I believe I need to readjust first the component from here. Oh, edit component. Oh, edit the core cavity. Right, so first of all, I need to specify the position of my gate first. So we have the gate location from here. You can pick anywhere that you want for the plastic mold to flow. For my case, I will pick right over here, and you can use this value to readjust on left and right. But for my case here is already at the center. So I will pick this location instead. And now to add our runner, so I can finish the concavity and I can go to the mold layout and we can use the runner from here. But before we add runner, we need to sketch a runner position first. So we can go to the runner here. If you want to, you can also manual sketch. And let's say I would like to sketch at this plane here. And now I can specify which location that I want my runner to be. So with this, I can just sketch based on lines, and I would like to align with this gate location. So I can use the constraint here just to make sure that it will stay right at the center from here. So let me just use the horizontal constraint and make sure that it is aligned. Now I can hit return and go back to the mold layout, and I can now start to add the runner, and I can select at the lines runner that I create before. So with this, I have different type of runner that I can add. So if I drop down, I have a trapezoid, U-shape. In my case, maybe I would like to have a semicircles, and I would like this to be on the cavity side on the top. So I can pick cavity, and you can just add some more adjustment. Maybe you want to change the size, you can just readjust from it. And once done that, I now have the runner crate, and to connect the runner into our gate location, so we can add a gate. So with this, I can select a gate, and I can specify the gate from here that will be connected into the runner. So you have different type of gate. So maybe I would like to have a tunnel, for examples, that will flow from the runner into the concavity here. So you can pick different type of gate. For my case, I'm just going to use H, just a basic one. And location placement here, so will be from this point, this point. This will be on the upward side. And similarly, you can adjust the size from here. So let me just reduce the size of this. For the height, I'm going to make it 4. Width from the front here. And also for the height, set 2. Right, so I will have the gate look like this. Okay, so the gate has been created. And I can now go and add a mold base. So from the mold assembly here, I can select the mold base. Right, so since we add the contact center library, so we now have multiple type of choice if you want to. So we have 3 plate if you want. But for this case, I'm just going to leave it as a 2 plate default settings. And to add our mold, so you can just click place reference and specify which location. So the placement will be at this. On the preview here, you can see the line. So that will be the mold base location. And this block here will be our core and cavity. So the placement reference, I'm going to pick at this position. And I can click OK. So it will generate our mold base. Now, normally people will need to design this manually part by part, but with this Inventor tooling or mold design, so you can create this very easily. So as for mold base, we also have different type of settings that if you want to, so you can go to the edit features to go back here. And let's say if I would like to change the size, for example, I can just pick from here. Maybe I want 250 to 250. And it will readjust the size. And if I want to adjust the part manually, part by parts, I can select. Over here, we have multiple type of component that I can readjust. Maybe this one, I would like to make it slightly taller, for example. We also have the width and also for the length here. Currently, it's grayed out, but if you need to readjust this, you can click customize and you can make a bit more customized on the width as well, and also for the length. But for my case here, I'm just going to leave it as default. Just okay. And this will be the setting that I'm going to go with. So now that our mold base has been created, so once this object has been, once the mold has been entered into our core cavity and it need to be ejected, so we need to add an ejector. So the ejector we can find under the mold assembly here. So just pick the ejector and you can pick the location for the ejector. So again, this also comes with the content center library. If you want to pick different ejector, you can just click a drop down arrow here and then just pick. For my case here, this will be the ejector location that I want to put. And you can also change the size with this. Maybe I would like to make a diameter into 3, for examples. And the position here, I can readjust if I want it to be a bit more precise. You can just drop down button from here and you can readjust the position from here. So for example, let's say this one, I'm going to put -60, for example, just for example. Or this one will be -5. Okay, so you can see that it's now changed, right? But this one is not a good location, so we'll bring back into the original location. Let me just make this one into 40. Oh, 48. Right, so once done, I can just hit apply. So that is to eject our plastic part. We can also eject for our runner, right? So we can also add eject for runner system. Okay, so I can just click over here, so that will be the ejector for run. Okay, but my ejector and also for the runner is quite short, so I needed to readjust back so that it will reach to the base. So let me just adjust the length. Let's say around 120, I believe. Could be a bit taller here. Right, so I believe it should connect it. The same goes with this one. And if you see here, there are pop-out message indicate that there are clearance issue. So if I go and zoom in inside, then you should be able to see that we actually have a clearance area inside here. And in this case, it's already penetrate. So I needed to adjust the clearance. So the clearance, you can just go back and edit again. And we have the clearance settings. And we have this CEP here that I would like to make it slightly bigger. Maybe I make it 4mm, for example. Okay, so you see that the error message does not appear anymore once I'm done. Right. Okay, so the next thing is I can add some more things. Maybe I would like to add a spool bushings or locating ring, so I can just use it from here. But for the time sake, I'm just going to skip that. And as for the cooling component, so I can add a cooling component, but before that, I need to have a cooling channel first. So to add it, again, you can add like you add with the runner. So you need to go to the more layout, and we have the cooling channel here first. All right, so with this, let's say I would like to add a cooling channel right over here. So I can just pick this position. And you need to also specify the location by using the linear edge. So I would like to add this, that will be at the bottom here. So this one will be, let's say, around 90. And this one somewhere around 50. And if I want to, I can apply and add some more. But before that, okay, I made a mistake here. So this one I would like to penetrate, extend up to the end. So with this, I can go back and let me just edit this feature so that it will extend through all to the end. And we can see that we have a cone shape over here, but not on the other side. So the cone shape is actually this top part over here. So if I want to make it on the other part as well, so you can just click symmetric and it should add on the other side as well. Of course, I can add some more, but for this case, I'm just going to skip. And we now have a hole for the cooling channel, and we can add our cooling component from the mold assembly. So I can add cooling component from here. And I can add the other one for this part as well. So again, if you need to change to different equipment or different type, you can just click over here. So now that our mold base has been complete, so let's take a look on the part itself. So if you needed to view individual part or individual mold plate, so first thing is you can find under the mold base here. So if you see we have different mold base, maybe I would like to take a look at this part. So you can just click and open, and you should be able to see your mold base that created based on our equipment before. So you can see the ejector right over here. So if you have add a cooling channel, so that one will also be able to view, right? So we see the cooling channel from here. And if you want to view the assembly a bit more details, so you can go to the assembly tab here, and you can go to the you can go to the representation. Okay, and the position here. So currently this is the primary. If I want to open the product, so I can just click open. So it will open this product. And if I would like to eject the equipment, so I can click and it will show you the ejector equipment or ejector position that is has added from here. So it's quite easy that we don't have to do it manually. So everything has been added over here, so that we can just go and look around over here. So maybe I would like to take a look on the pre-drag, which I can use it to drag manually part by part and just take a look for the overall equipment here. Okay, so and at the end, I would like to generate this into a 2D documentation. So with that, you can save first. And for the 2D documentation, so you can go to the mold assembly from here, and we have this 2D drawing. And what this does is allow to pick which part that you want to generate a 2D. So this can create 2D drawing, and this will be the list of part. So individual plates, individual equipment can be created automatically. But for this case, I'm just going to create 2D drawing for overall of this equipment. So I'm going to click at this assembly here. And I would like to also create for the core and cavity part inside here as well. So let me just click the core and also for the cavity. And once I click OK, it will generate the drawing automatically for you. So if you take a look here, I did not actually create this manually. So it's been done automatically. Right. So that is the assembly parts. Okay, so you can see the part list also being created. Okay, so and we also have the core and cavity create as well. So this one will be right. So I believe this one is the core. No, this one is the cavity, and we have the core over here, right? So that is the Inventor mold design, right? So that is the overview for this free lesson. So I hope this session is useful for you. And that is all from me. hope I can see you guys again on our next free lesson. And have a nice day and bye-bye.